can open it up for some question and answers. So if you do have questions, you can start typing it in the chat if you don't forget, so that you don't forget them, or you can save it for the Q&A that comes after, and we'll answer them all together. So at the very core of it, RangeMe is the leading product discovery, sourcing, and purchasing platform in the US. We currently have over 15,000 retail buyers. Because of these partnerships, we have over 200,000 suppliers like yourselves, and those suppliers have over 800,000 products on RangeMe. Food and beverage are our strongest sectors. After that, we have cosmetics and personal care, and then health and wellness, which includes vitamins and supplements. How we work with most of the retailers in the US is a very unique way. We have a direct corporate partnership with them. So if you go onto any of their websites, and I have some examples for you, number one is Albertsons. I think you're all familiar with them, but if not, they have over 20 different companies within Albertsons. The most popular one would be Safeway, which is a very large grocery chain. And if you're on the Albertsons website and you're trying to introduce your items to Albertsons companies, when you click on the Learn More button, it asks you to create a RangeMe profile. That way, the Albertsons buyers are able to look at you. In the same example, CVS. If you're on the CVS website and you would like to become a CVS supplier, then the first thing you see on their website is to please create a RangeMe account. Because of these unique partnerships, we are the only one that plays in this space where they have us directly on their corporate sites or corporate platforms. Now, what happens over there is every single buyer, we first set them up to make sure that they only look at the categories that they manage. So with the larger retailers, they manage small categories, but we also work with thousands of small independent retailers, and they would look at all different categories. For this example, we're going to look at all of the food categories, but within food, we have lots of different subcategories as well. So again, say something like Whole Foods, they have different buyers for condiments, different buyers for candy, different buyers for frozen. So they would only select one or two categories themselves. So let's just say, for example, we want to look at all food. We never have to do this process again. Now, as a buyer, when I log in, I automatically see all the companies on RangeMe that have at least one product in the food categories. 44,000 brands with 192,000 products. And now the buyer has different ways that they can search and filter. The most popular way is for them to start scrolling down. As they scroll down, they'll see different companies that populate. And at any point, if they see something that they're interested in, they can request a sample, send a direct message to this company, or save this and look at it later. Another way for them to filter is by searching for keywords or searching for specific categories. So let's say, for example, I only want to look at the condiments and spices category. Now I can look at only condiments and spices and not the other food categories. Same thing here. I scroll down, and if I see something that I'm interested in, I can request a sample, save this, or send them a direct message. I'm also able to search by keyword. So for example, if I want to look for organic snacks, I can type in organic snacks, and now it will only show me brands that have the word organic snacks in their name, their unique selling points, or their product description. And now when I scroll down, I can see all the different ones that populate. Now, let's say, for example, one of these looks really interesting to me. I can click into it, and now I see the larger profile that all of you would set up on RangeMe. The most important part about your profile is this cover image right here. This is one of my favorite examples because I think they've done a really good job. And why they've done that is because they've clearly highlighted their packaging. So now the retailer can imagine what this packaging would look like on the store shelves or on their e-commerce site. But in addition to that, on the right-hand side, they've also called out all the unique certifications. Certifications are very important in the retail world. And if a buyer is looking at two different products and they have similar attributes, they're going to choose the one that has certifications versus the one that does not. This does not mean that you have to have all these certifications, but if you do have any of them, it is a good idea to highlight them on your cover image. After that, you have the name of your brand and the description, just a very short description of what your brand does. They do branded and private label dried and frozen foods, snack bars, and hazelnut. I can then scroll down as the buyer, and I'm able to look at all the individual products that they have. Their website, where the current company is located or the person that set up the page. On the right-hand side here, a little bit more info about the company, when it was founded, the revenues. Are they EDI capable, yes or no? And if they do attend any trade shows, they can mention that over here as well. In addition to that, I can get individual information about each product. So let's say, for example, this fig and nut bar looks interesting. I can click into that as the buyer. And now I'm seeing even more information that all of you have set up. The first thing I see is the MSRP and the approximate cost. What these two fields are is MSRP is what the retailer will sell the product for in their stores. And the cost is what the landed cost would be to that retailer. This allows them to understand, okay, if I carry this product, I will most likely make a 50% margin. Every retailer understands that there are lots of different factors. The minimum quantities, is it FOB or do you have a distributor here? All those things you discuss directly with them. This just gives them a very rough, approximate idea of what the margin is that they could make. In the market here in the US, we see that usually you need at least 35 and above, if not 40% and above margin for the buyers to take you seriously. Then I can see if there are any specific certifications that this product has. And then we get into the description and unique selling points. So over here, it's very important to put all the keywords that you know are going to be popular in the current retail environment. Organic, no refined sugar, real fruits and nuts. Those are the things that you know buyers will search for because consumers want that. And so retailers are looking for more products like that. How you describe your product and what unique selling points you put in will determine when a buyer types in those search words, whether you show up or not for them. The country and state of origin of the actual product. So while the brand is located in Austin, this product is manufactured in Turkey. The categories that they've placed their products in. And then we have the distribution section, which is also very important. I know Leonardo mentioned that we first started off in Australia, and that's right. And then we moved into the US market, and currently about 90% of our retailers are in the US. Now, as of about 3 or 4 months ago, we've also launched in the UK. So Tesco, Asda, Co-op, Iceland Foods, and Lloyd's Pharmacy are the first 5 retailers in the UK that use RangeMe. So if you are interested in the same profile to get seen by US retailers, but also our UK retailers, there's a question that says, where can you currently distribute? And depending on which countries you put, those countries' buyers can see you. So my suggestion is, if you want exposure to all countries that we currently work in, and that would be US, UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, then you can mention global. Otherwise, if you want it to be just for the US, you can put United States, and no other countries' buyers will see you. You can always change these settings whenever you want to. Does this product require cold storage? Are you capable of drop shipping? And are you willing to discuss private label, yes or no? Then we have some technical information. That's the item and the case price, the barcode, the product ingredients, and the shelf life. So again, over here, I have the same options as a buyer: save, sample, or message. Or I could also download this for myself to look at later. And now I can go back to the whole list we were looking at. Next most popular way for buyers to filter is by certification. We just talked a little bit about the importance of certification. So let's say I'm a buyer and I'm only looking for USDA organic. I can apply that filter, and now it's only showing me brands that have at least one product that is USDA organic. It is based on the information that the brands put in. But in the last 2 or 3 months, we've started working with the certification partners and verifying the certifications so that the buyers can see it and understand that it is an actual verified certification. Similarly, I can put in something else like non-GMO. And I can look at all the different non-GMO ones. We know that this is the most popular, certified non-GMO verified. I can say apply, and it's going to show me the brands that have that certification. Same thing, I can click into it. I can scroll through. And if I look at any of the products, this green check mark or this green dot tells me that we have confirmed with non-GMO Project Verified that this is an actual certification they have. Similarly, with fair trade, they say that they're fair trade, and we are waiting on confirmation of that data. That makes the buyer's job much easier because they feel more relaxed if they know that we have confirmed that data. And finally, of course, I can also search by origin. So if I was to come in here and put in Spain, it will now show me all the brands where either the brand is located or at least one of their products is manufactured in Spain. And now I can scroll through. And as companies pop up, if I see something I really like, I can click on it again, see their cover image, all the different products they have. The person that set up the profile is based in Miami, but some of these products are definitely manufactured in Spain. And then, of course, I can click into any of them at any point. They've also done a very good job with their cover image because they've highlighted their packaging here. And as I scroll through, other companies will pop up. Now, something really important to mention is you might notice, and I'll go back to the top, no matter what we do, whether it's origin filter, certification, keyword, category, all the companies at the top have this check mark. This green check mark means they are RangeMe verified, which means they are part of our premium service. At RangeMe, we have two options for suppliers or manufacturers: the basic version, which is completely free, and the premium service that has an annual fee to it. I will let Leonardo discuss that later, because we're very excited that the Chamber of Commerce is going to have a partnership with us to provide you an opportunity to join this premium program at a very low cost. And getting that green check mark shows the buyers that you have the basic requirements for retail stores. And those requirements are packaging, barcodes, liability insurance. So your product liability insurance, it doesn't have to be US, it can be existing, your current Spain insurance. And if you are a food item, then the nutritional label. Getting that check mark puts you at the very top of whatever the buyer does. So now as I scroll, I only see brands right now that have that check mark, and the buyer feels more confidence that these companies are ready to do business because they are verified and they have the basic requirements. A lot of times the buyers will come in here and they'll say, 900 companies is too much for me to look at. Let me start with only looking at the verified ones. And now it's less than 10%. So just like all of us go onto Google and we're on page 1 and page 2, we almost never go to page 10. The verified companies will get seen first, and then the buyers will move on to the other ones. And I can clear that as well. Now, what if you're a buyer and you are not sure of what you're looking for? We have certain retail collections or trends that we know are popular in the industry. And so we can put companies in these groups here. One example is trending on Instagram. If you are growing very quickly with your Instagram followers, then you'll be part of this featured collection. We also have a collection called Nielsen products, and that is based on the sales data from Nielsen. We've been partnered with Nielsen here in the US for over 7 years. So if I'm a buyer, I can actually go in here, I can look at the different products, and then when I look at a particular item, I can also see the sales data on the right-hand side of my dashboard. So this is a new company, clearly. They grew 100%, which means pretty new, 318,000 yearly sales. In the entire category of candy, gum, and mints last year, did 23 billion. And you can see the date range over here as well. This data comes directly from Nielsen. It's not available for manufacturers to use, but it is available for retailers. So if you have existing sales in the US, you'll most likely have Nielsen sales data to go with it. And I can, of course, clear that. Some of the other collections that are very popular on RangeMe, sustainability. You know, it's a huge issue for the entire world. And more retailers want to carry companies that have sustainable causes. So if your packaging is recyclable, or your fair trade or Rainforest Alliance or MSC certified, any sustainability attributes that you have, it's important to highlight that in your profile. We also have a brand new collection for startup brands. So any company that has only started in the last 2 to 3 years will be featured on our startup brands collection. We also have trending on RangeMe. So if your company is getting a lot of responses and messages from buyers on RangeMe, then you'll show up in this collection as well. And another popular collection is our Good Food collection. That is a partnership with Fairtrade, MSC certified, and non-GMO project. And any of their companies or manufacturers that have either one of these certifications will show up in this collection. So that covers the supplier side of things that we looked at, or the buyer's view. Now we'll look at your particular profile in a little more detail. So it starts pretty similar. You have your brand page here. You see the cover image. You've got your tagline. And then all the different products you have here that you can edit, submit for approval, and once approved, they'll be live and published. If you're interested in realizing how your exposure is going, which retailers are looking at you, then you can come into the sales and marketing section and you can go to Profile Insights. This will show you how many views and visits you had and who they came from. So you're able to see all the different retailers here. Some of them are large, some of them are very small, and how they found you. Was it through search? If it was through search, what did they type in? They typed in protein and nuts. This is the company that makes protein bars that have nuts. Did they look at your entire brand, or did they look at one particular item? And as you scroll down, you'll see all sorts of different retailers that use RangeMe, and they've been looking for different attributes, and therefore they found this brand. If a buyer is interested in initiating a conversation, you'll see that here in your messages. You'll see the different buyers that have messaged, and you'll see the name of the buyer and also which retailer they work for. We now have the live book a meeting functionality as well. So if a buyer is interested in booking a meeting with you, if you are a premium member, they can book a meeting directly. You see this example, that's when it started last year. And the company is allowed to book a meeting and have that meeting on our platform. These are just some examples of all the different messages this company has received. The way RangeMe functions is just like LinkedIn. We provide the opportunity for retailers to find you, for you to initiate a conversation because they've said they're interested or they'd like a sample. After that, the conversation is between you as a company and the retailer. So our job is done in the sense that we cannot control what they like or don't like, but we can control you getting enough exposure in front of them. Coming back to the verification section, please feel free to take a screenshot. I'll pause for 1 minute here. These are the things that you're required to have to get that verified check mark. And again, this gives the buyers the confidence that you are retail ready and you're ready to do business in the US. We also have a section called RangeMe Services. It's under sales and marketing. And over here, if you're looking for help in the retail space, whether it's a broker, certifications, or a shipping company or insurance, you can come in here. You can see some of the companies that have listed themselves. You can click on them and see the specialties they have, read a little bit more about their business, and write directly to them. We don't get involved. We don't take any commissions from them. For us, we have a lot of small manufacturers that are trying to grow, and they don't have access to anyone that they need to contact to get certified. They don't necessarily know some of the best brokers around, or in today's climate with supply chain issues, they're having challenges with their shipping company. So we have some categories here that you can look at and you can click on them, like certifications again. You can say, I'm only looking for food and beverage ones, and then see all the different ones we have. and if any of them are a fit for you. This way you can contact them directly through RangeMe, and it's an easier way instead of you having to just Google. So that's the entire side of RangeMe for all of you to look at. You saw now all the best ways to set up your profile, how buyers look at different companies and brands, and how you can change your exposure by different countries. So I'll stop sharing my screen and I'll open it up to questions, or I'll hand it back to you, Leonardo.
Yes, hello, Veer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hand it back to you and I'll open it up to questions now that everyone's seen the presentation.
Yeah, okay. Can I already place a question?
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I have a few of questions. First is if can several persons in our company, in one company, use the account, or there's just I mean at the same time, because we have a person in the US, for instance.
Yeah, absolutely. You can have up to 20 people on your same account. Each of them has their own login, and then whoever sets up the account can also set the permissions. Do you want them to be administrators? Do you want them only to be able to edit the profile but not actually respond? You have different permissions that you can allow.
Okay, thank you. Next question would be if this program, this app, works only in one direction. I mean that we should wait for the buyers to give the first step. Always, yeah, just wait and then react to their inquiry.
Yeah, it's a great question. There's two ways it works. So for the majority of the buyers, they have to initiate that conversation. But for our top retailers, we have what we call submissions, which is kind of like InMail for LinkedIn. And on that section, and maybe I'll pull it up since we do have a little more time here. In that section, you can actually proactively reach out to some of those buyers as well. Now, of course, there's no guarantee that they'll respond, but at least you have the ability to do that. So I'm glad you brought that up. I'll share my screen again. It's under sales and marketing, and it's called retailer submissions.
Right.
And underneath here, there are 147 top retailers, and you can see who they are, and you can say, okay, 7-Eleven, let me start submission, select which brand. Some of our companies have multiple brands, and you can write a customized message, and it goes directly to their emails.
That's great. Just if I may, just another question is regarding the price point that we have to write. What's our price point would be in the retailer? You know, that's pretty difficult because sometimes it's hard to have a complete price breakdown. Also, it's not the same thing to deliver product in Miami than in California. So it could be a little bit trying to get that.
It is absolutely. We get that question a lot, and because there's no direct purchasing on RangeMe, you just put the approximate price, and then there's a field underneath there that says pricing comments. And a lot of people will say something like, price depends on MOQ and whether it's FOB or it's, like you said, it's out of Miami or West Coast. And all the retailers know that they're just getting a rough idea. So if your margin is 40%, will it exactly be 40 to them? No, but it's probably not going to be 10%. So they have a rough idea that it's around that range.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Yeah, great questions. I love those.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Then maybe I have another one, Veer.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Is there any way to know how many visits, if we had any, are we getting?
Absolutely, yeah. So in that profile insights section that I showed, you can see how many visits you had, how many views you had, and which retailers visited you as well. You know, I think that's one of the biggest powers of RangeMe. I was talking earlier with Fernando because we were both at Fancy Foods, and I meet a lot of companies at trade shows, and trade shows are great, but they require a bigger investment and you need to travel for it. And sometimes you see companies standing at the booth and they don't know who's walking by or who even looks at their product unless they get the card. And with RangeMe, if someone clicks on your profile and spends time, you can see exactly who that is. And that's great because that way you at least understand, okay, even if they did not send me a message, I can see that Whole Foods spent some time on my profile, so they know I exist. And that's the starting point to trying to get them to contact you at some point.
Right. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Thank you very much for everything.
You're welcome.
Well, I'm listening to you more than okay. Now, I didn't know about this platform existing, so it's very interesting. And I had a doubt concerning barcodes. Okay. Can anyone hear
No,
me?
you're okay. That was somebody else. Yep, you're okay. So barcodes.
You can talk now, no problem.
Oh, okay. Maybe like this. Okay. Can you? Hello?
Now we can hear you. Yes.
Yeah, great. So my doubt is concerning barcodes. It's that, for example, for the products that we have here in Spain, we use Spanish barcodes, but I know there's a whole different story when it comes to US barcodes or any other country barcodes. So how do we get to do that? How do we get it? Maybe it's a part of the consulting process and the consulting companies that may also assist us in the program. I don't know.
That's right. Yeah. You kind of in a way answered your own question, which is great. But it's so to set up your profile, you don't need US barcodes. We do accept all international barcodes. Over 30% of our companies are not in the US. And remember, there's 200,000 companies. So that's a lot. That's over 60,000 companies. But once a retailer is interested in doing business with you, of course, you will need a US barcode. It's very easy to get. And generally, the company that I know most people use is called GS1. And
GS1.
Last I remember, and this was just a few weeks ago, I knew a company that got their US barcodes in about 2 days.
Right.
So it's pretty easy if you do want that and you do get, but that's a step you can wait for the next step.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Oh, I actually see a question in the chat, so I'll answer that. Can all products be listed on RangeMe, including perishable? Yes, absolutely. So we cover every imaginable category, including perishable. And as long as the category exists on RangeMe, you can put your products in there.
I've got another question.
Yeah.
Once there's a company, there's a retailer that has seen your profile, is there any way to contact them, or only the short list you show us?
Yeah, it's only the short list. And what we typically tell people too is think about RangeMe as just one of the many tools that you have to use. So if you see a company's looking at you a lot and they're not on that short list, maybe look them up online and see if they have any contact information on the internet, because that's part of the hustle, right? You just got to keep trying whatever way you can. LinkedIn, RangeMe, trade shows, as many ways as you can get in touch with the buyer, it's always good to use.
Any more questions?
Yeah, one more from here, but you're on mute.
Juanjo, creo que el micrófono. Yeah, okay, ahora. Okay now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Yeah. Just a brief question because okay, we are a winery, so in the States, some of the states have a monopoly. So does it this platform work also on those states? Just the same?
It does. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a very good question, though. I'm glad you brought it up. It's so complicated in America with alcohol, and some states having a monopoly, and then each state having different laws and rules.
Yeah.
If you're in the alcohol section, it's usually preferred, and I think you said you have one, that you need to have someone in the US, a distributor, an importer, somebody on the ground here who can navigate some of those challenges. Because most likely, if a retailer is interested, they're going to tell you to go to a distributor. They won't work directly with you.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. I think that's all for the questions, but those were very great questions. So I appreciate everyone giving me your time. I know it's getting close to happy hour for you this evening, so I appreciate it.
Okay. ¿Alguna pregunta más? Si no, despedimos a Vir en este caso. Muy bien. Pues nada, Vir, thank you very much for your time. I will appreciate so much, and I will see you soon.
Sounds good. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Okay.
Thank you, Vir. See you soon.
Absolutely. Bye.
Bueno, pues muchas gracias a todos por estar presentes en el seminario. Bueno, la idea, como ha comentado Fernando Díaz, es estamos trabajando, tanto el Info como la Cámara de Comercio de Murcia, en lanzar un proyecto con RageMe, de colaboración con RageMe, ¿vale? RageMe ha comentado bueno, las posibilidades que hay para las empresas de aquí de Murcia, bueno, cualquier proveedor. Y nosotros la idea que tenemos es apoyarlo, ¿vale? Apoyarlo con recursos, o sea, cofinanciando un proyecto que vamos a realizar con ayuda para que aquella empresa que esté interesada y quiera tener una cuenta premium, pues la pueda tener y la pueda tener a un coste bastante económico, que no sea eso una objeción para que pueda participar en este proyecto, probar, porque también entendemos que es un canal, probablemente pues muchos estarán ya en Estados Unidos, estarán con canales más tradicionales. Y esto, bueno, pues al final con los años van evolucionando, este canal está surgiendo, está adquiriendo bastante importancia, ya han visto que al final pues tiene un catálogo de distribuidores importante, va ampliando, empezó con Australia, ahora está en Estados Unidos, que el 90% son distribuidores de Estados Unidos y está ampliando a Reino Unido, o sea que no se está deteniendo, va ampliando mercados y va consiguiendo más distribuidores. Y bueno, nosotros la idea es que las empresas de Murcia pues tengan la posibilidad de estar ahí también, de probarlo, de tener la suscripción durante un año. O sea, durante un año se tendrá el perfil. Estamos hablando también que hay un técnico de la Cámara y un técnico del Info que apoyen lo que es también la inclusión de la información, porque la idea sería que haya como un panel de control, un panel de productos de la región de Murcia, España, y dentro de digamos, ese portal, pues estén los perfiles de cada una de las empresas participantes, ¿vale? Esto ya lo han hecho otros organismos y bueno, y la idea que Murcia pues también esté presente aquí, ¿vale? Yo creo que más o menos esto, pues, Fernando, pues a lo mejor lo sacaremos, si podemos, durante el mes de julio. Haremos una convocatoria oficial, la enviaremos, pues como ha llegado también esta convocatoria del seminario. Ahí se verán un poco las condiciones y demás que pueden ver, valorar. Si tienen cualquier duda, pues pueden hablar con el técnico del Info de la Cámara que esté a cargo de esto. Y bueno, y la idea es tener el grupo de participantes pues para el mes de septiembre, con vistas a que en octubre pues podamos ya dar el pistoletazo de salida, empezar a meter los datos en la plataforma y que pueda estar operativo durante un año. O sea, sería desde octubre-noviembre 2022 hasta octubre-noviembre 2023. ¿Vale?
Muy bien. Tenía una pregunta, Leonardo.
Sí,
no sé si Vir te ha comentado, porque de momento está restringido a los países anglosajones, ahora han entrado en Reino Unido. ¿Te ha comentado si tienen planes de expandirse a otro tipo de mercados más adelante?
Sí, la idea, yo hablé con él y en principio el objetivo que tienen ahora mismo primordial es Reino Unido. Después de Reino Unido quieren ir ampliando Europa, otros países de Europa. De hecho, ellos tienen ahora mismo, las oficinas en Europa están en Países Bajos. O sea que la voluntad que tienen, quizá en principio se quieren centrar en mercados anglosajones porque el equipo suyo es de habla inglesa. Entonces, claro, al final lo lógico para ellos es ampliar en los mercados en los cuales el inglés es el idioma de los negocios. Pero vamos, que la idea evidentemente es continuar, seguir ampliando porque les está funcionando la plataforma.
De acuerdo.
¿Y vosotros, Leonardo, lo sacaríais para todos los países que ha dicho, para los 4 o 5 que ha mencionado o para uno en especial?
Estamos valorando cómo lo vamos a hacer. O sea, el que está claro es Estados Unidos. Estados Unidos, porque al final el 90 y pico % de los retailers son de Estados Unidos, ¿vale? Luego habrá que valorar si ampliamos y hacemos otro mercado o solamente dejamos ese, vemos y probamos qué tal funciona y si funcionase, pues bueno, esto es ampliable a otros países, evidentemente. ¿Vale? Un poco el propósito de la jornada era explicarlo centrado en Estados Unidos, ¿no? Pero claro, es cierto que al final la plataforma pues, permite el que sea visualizable el perfil de la empresa no solo en Estados Unidos, sino en los otros mercados que comentaba, ¿no?
La idea, como dice Leonardo, es ir probándonos y ir escalando el proyecto de acuerdo con los resultados que vayamos obteniendo y también la masa crítica de empresas que se sumen a él, ¿no? La idea es, como él decía, en breve yo creo que seguramente la semana que viene cerramos definitivamente las condiciones y estamos hablando que en 10 días pueden tener información completa de las condiciones de participación, del número de empresas que como objetivo nos fijamos y el coste, que el coste ya comprobarán que va a ser reducido, por no decir ridículo.
Sí, Fernando, ¿hay un número máximo de empresas participantes? ¿Habéis hablado de un cupo?
Estuvimos hablando, claro, depende del presupuesto que se invierta. Nosotros estábamos hablando en principio por hacer un grupo de 12, 15 inicialmente. Si vemos que funciona, ir ampliando según también qué resultados estemos obteniendo y el feedback de aquellas empresas, de las empresas que hayan participado. Es decir, porque vamos, tenemos la convicción de que puede salir muy bien, pero los que nos diréis seréis vosotros o aquellas empresas que se sumen al mismo, ¿no?
Bien, gracias.
Hombre, lo que yo creo que es importante es que hagáis un buen equipo, algún técnico o un equipo de técnicos de soporte, porque sobre todo las empresas más pequeñas vamos a andar un poco perdidos, seguramente lo que ha comentado antes Juanjo,